engage in more groups, you're going to see just how EazyBot fits in. And as Dr. Ali said, EazyBot wasn't created to make money or for profit, and that's real important. It was made to serve.
Welcome to The Edge of Show, your gateway to the Web3 revolution. We explore the cutting edge of blockchain, cryptocurrency, NFTs, ordinals, DeFi, gaming, and entertainment, plus how AI is reshaping our digital future. Join us as we bring you visionaries and disruptors pushing boundaries in this digital renaissance. This show is for the dreamers, disruptors, and doers that are pumped about where innovation meets culture. This is where the future begins.
We're expanding across new frontiers, streaming on Zora and Rumble. On Zora, creativity lives on-chain where every post, drop, and idea can evolve into something of real value. Explore what we're building on Zora at Zora.co. And on Rumble, you'll find a space where creators connect freely and conversations grow without limits. Catch our episodes and join the discussion on Rumble at rumble.com. Just hit either platform and search The Edge of Show to find us. Two communities, one mission building the future together.
Welcome to The Edge of Show. I'm your host, Josh Krieger, and we feature a variety of top-notch guests and other hosts as well. It's another production of The Edge of Company, a quickly growing media ecosystem empowering the pioneers of Web3 tech and culture, responsible for other groundbreaking endeavors like the Outer Edge Innovation Festival in LA and Riyadh, and most recently, the Future of Money, Governance, and Law Summit in Washington, D.C., which was in partnership with our featured guest today, EazyBot. And we have Dr. Mohamed Omer Ali, the engineer, crypto educator, and founder of EazyBot, a platform helping people earn safely and consistently in crypto. With over 2 decades in the UAE and on a mission to empower 1 million users, he's changing how we think about automation and trust in the crypto space. We also have Winston Thomas, the EazyBot Global Sales Director. He has an extensive background in marketing and mathematics, having built teams for several companies with a multi-level marketing structure, and he focuses on marketing software around the world. Gentlemen, it was great to have you in DC, and it's great to have you on the show. How are you today?
Doing great. Nice to meet you.
Well, yeah, it was a lot of fun having you guys part of our event. For those that weren't in Washington, D.C., you truly missed out. We had a gala with a game called Cryptopoly, powered by EazyBot. And over the course of those few days, I really got to know what you guys are doing and your mission. And I'm excited to share that with our audience today.
Awesome.
So I guess let's start with you, Dr. Ali. We basically have talked in the past, and I think it's important for our audience to hear what inspired you to start EazyBot and to get into the crypto space, and pursue the mission that you guys are pursuing. Maybe you can kind of start with that.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, if you talk to me like 5 years back or so about crypto, I would be like completely blank. That I didn't know anything about crypto. My career was all about engineering, about electrical and electronics engineer. That was my study, and I worked for elevator industry for over 13 years here in Dubai. And then when the pandemic hit, I had to leave my job, as many other people also had to do so. And that was my first interaction with crypto, as it was kind of a savior for me during that time, because I don't know if you know it here in Dubai, but once you leave your job, I mean, there's no like kind of a social securities or anything that would save you, and you have to have income coming in so that you can pay the bills and so on, especially that are not local from here. Anyway, I was looking at ways to make profit or to make money in this world somehow without going to work, because the pandemic was there. Everyone, it's difficult to work outside, and it's difficult even to go outside your home and search for a job and so on. And the thing that I was studying at the time was cryptocurrency. And in cryptocurrency specifically, I was looking at mining, because it's more to the engineering side of it. It's kind of interesting thing. You keep a machine at home, you let it work and generates profit for you or generate income for you without you doing anything. Actually, the machine is doing it. It was a very interesting concept for me. So I was studying for some time. When I made my study, it looked really lucrative if I do that. It was very risky for me at that time because obviously there was no consistent source of income, and it's either works or doesn't work. So I took that risk, and I got use of some friends who did it in the past, bought some machines, kept it at home, and then started really generating profit for me, generating a daily income. I was mining Ethereum at that time when it was mineable. It worked for about like 1.5 years. I broke even in about 7 months. It was really lucrative and working very well. But I still had to do more into the crypto. I was digging deeper and seeing what more can I do in this crypto world and still be able to increase my income. And the thing that I looked at was trading the cryptocurrency, like the Forex and so on. I didn't have also experience on that, but I was invited by a friend of mine to send my crypto to someone or to some company, some third-party entity who trades it, and then we get profit. Scam.
Yeah. I mean, I can remember so many of those back in 2017, 2018, 2019. Where, people came into the industry and they were looking for that easy trading mechanism, right?
Yeah.
Because at that time, things were really, really complicated. They've gotten a little better. They're still complicated. I just tried to onboard myself to a new platform last week, and it took 15-20 minutes. So we still have some work to do, right?
Right, exactly. And this is basically, I think, in my personal opinion, that's where the scammers are catching people, like saying techie things that people wouldn't understand, and they feel, okay, this is professional, let me go with them because they're talking tech language and so on. And they feel that because of they don't understand it, it's working, but they don't understand it. But actually, I think, in my personal opinion, that anyone should seek knowledge first before you involve yourself into anything. Make sure that you understand how it works. Make sure that it's not a scam. Make sure it's not a Ponzi scheme, and so on. So, and in crypto, as soon as you send your funds to anyone, it's a 99% possibility that you lose it, because there is no kind of money back or anything, or bank in between, or in third party. It's a peer-to-peer transaction. You send it and it's gone forever if this person is not honest with you and doing what they're supposed to do.
For sure. So, all these sort of experiences and sort of, how you enter the industry clearly has shaped sort of the EazyBot inspiration. Tell me a little bit more about what EazyBot is all about and how you define safe, because that's a word that has a lot of different meanings when it comes to trading.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, just to complete the story, when I lost that money to that scam, then I was introduced to another company. But at that time, it was kind of, you keep your money within your custody, or you keep your crypto within your Binance account, within your Coinbase account, within your exchange account, and then connect it through APIs, and then it trades for you. I didn't also know what that is, but I just put it there, and it was working. But the trick was, we didn't have a winning strategy. We were just copying and pasting numbers and letting it just run as it is. When the market was going up, it was doing great. We were making like 1%, 2%, 5% a day sometimes. But when the market went down during the depth that happened in 2021, between May and June, the Bitcoin went down from 64,000 to 28,000 in less than a month. And that was the big disaster. Everybody ended up holding and waiting for the mercy of the market to come back up again, but there's no guarantee that the market would come back up again so that we can recover and make profit. That was really the trigger moment for me to start studying and seeing, why did this happen? Can I do it differently? My funds were in my custody, right? But still I lost. How can I reverse this? How can I make it really work? And then that was the moment for me to start really getting back to my engineering knowledge and trying to analyze that bot, analyze that software. How did it work? And what was the strategy that we used? Was it the market who did something bad at that time? Or it was the software that didn't do the work that's supposed to do? And I found out that the market is always up and down. You cannot control it, and you cannot predict it 100%. You cannot depend on this. But we can ride this wave rather than building the wave, because you cannot build the wave. You can only ride the wave when the market goes down and the market goes up. And I came up with a strategy for that bot, and I was using it only to help people to get out of that situation of holding of the community that I was part of. And that was basically the birth of EazyBot. I used this strategy, and then I started building on that and making it, advancing it until it came to a moment that I cannot work it out on that software. I don't have enough parameters. I don't have enough features to work it on that software. So I had to build something from scratch and then equip it with my strategy, and then also make it flexible for people who are traders to change it the way they want. If they have their own winning formula, they can build it in the bot and let it trade for them. But 99% like of the people, or more than 90% of the people, are using the default settings that we have done. And we have actually improved on that over the last 4 years, around 4 times. We had 4 versions of the strategy, basically an improvement over an improvement over an improvement as we look at what's happening in the market.
Cool. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think there's a lot of folks that are intimidated by the market. There's a lot of different trading strategies. There's unlimited trading strategies really out there. But at the end of the day, it's just about that one that works for you, right? It's not about, knowing the whole universe of possibilities, and you can get into analysis paralysis as well. So that makes a lot of sense. And you've talked about how EazyBot is not an exchange. It doesn't hold custody of your assets, which is a really important component. What was behind this critical decision that you made?
Well, we have always positioned ourselves as a software company. We are not financial advisor. We're not allowed to even keep people's money within our custody. And so because of that, we have developed the APIs possibilities. So people keep the funds within their own custody, within their own Binance account or Coinbase account, Kraken, KuCoin, or Bybit or Bitget. Those are the 6 main exchanges that people can put their funds there, and then the exchange keep custody of the funds. Actually, they keep the custody of their funds within their own account within the exchange. Let's put it this way. And then they connect the APIs and they choose the strategy that they want to trade with, and then it trades for them. So this way, because most of the people are scared now, and I don't blame them. I mean, whatever you tell them, that if there's a trading bot, then they think about what I was thinking in the past, that okay, that company took my money, then that means this one could be also another scam. But this way, if people keep their funds within their own custody, it have kind of peace of mind for us and also for the client to keep their money within their custody within an exchange that have millions of users. It's unlikely to really run away with people's funds. Can that happen? I mean, that exchange goes down. We have seen FTX. It happens for FTX that the exchange went down and many people lost funds. It's not a guarantee. And that's why we triggered also possibility for people to add multiple exchanges at the same time. So imagine you have 100,000, you don't keep it in one exchange, you keep it in 4 exchanges or 5 exchanges and trade all of them at the same time. So the safety features and the protection of user was always number one for us. So it's not enough that we just connect the software and trades for you, but you need to make sure that no other entity is going to be trading your account. Like there is an API attack that happens from time to time to the exchanges. To avoid that, what we have done is that we have added a trusted IP address, our own IP address, that from where we're doing the trades. So in case if they lose their API keys and secret keys to someone else, to a hacker, they won't be able to trade their account because they cannot produce trades from our IP address. So since they lock that to that IP address, then if other trader tried to trade their accounts on their behalf, they won't be able, because the exchange would reject that kind of connection as it's not coming from the trusted IP address that we're providing.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Winston, any other thoughts you want to add on this topic, or if not, I have some other questions for you.
Okay, no, I mean, just like Dr. Ali said, the safety is really key. And that's really why I joined EazyBot almost 4 years ago, because just like everyone else or many people, you go through the rug pulls and the scams, that kind of thing. And I really wanted, because I knew that there was potential in crypto, but I just didn't know how. And EazyBot was able to check many of those boxes for me. And that's why I signed on as a user first and tested it out. And, it's been wonderful ever since.
How do you respond to sort of folks that are concerned about automation? Obviously, when used correctly, automation can be amazing, right? But also you're giving up control. You're handing over the keys to the car, so to speak. I remember when I tried the first self-parking car, and it's a little nerve-wracking. Now we have Waymos driving around Los Angeles without operators in the driver's seat, right? So how you're in the midst of talking to a lot of customers about the pros and cons of automation. How do you address those types of concerns?
Well, for me, as I said, I'm a user as you know from day one, and so I am not a trader, even though I know that there's opportunity. So being able to have it automated, but it's not like an artificial intelligence where it's just doing its own thing. Dr. Ali uses mathematical algorithms that is very strict when it comes to, movements. And so for someone who's not a trader, who just really wants to get in safely and earn, we share, we don't give financial advice, but test it out. That's why we have a free account. Test it out with a small amount to see if the automation works the way it's stated. And then as you build more confidence, then you can do what your portfolio or what your goals are. For those that are already in trading, they have the option of customizing. So it gives you the best of both worlds.
Is there a minimum amount you have to start with for the automation to work?
Well, that's based really on the exchange. The exchange states what a minimum trade is. And so some you can start as low as 200 USDC. It just depends on which exchange it is. And as, users are onboarded, and there are 6 exchanges that we work with. And so depending on their area, will determine which exchanges they're allowed to use.
Makes sense. And gentlemen, I know you're not a financial advisor. Do you have any sense of how your trading algorithms have compared to sort of industry benchmarks, or say just holding Bitcoin over a same period of time? Is there any data that you can share, recognizing that you're not a financial advisory company?
Yeah, let me take that one. So for that kind of transparency, what we have done at the beginning, because we're not financial advisors, we've started our own corporate account back in 2022, in 19th of May to be precise. Because of all of these questions, how much can I make per day? How much can I make per month? What do they compare it with, and so on. So we didn't want to answer that question directly, because you don't know how the market is going to fluctuate in the future.
Yeah, I even hesitated to ask the question because it's complicated.
Yeah. But people need some data, right? People need some data to build a decision on. So that's why we decided to do that. So at that time, we started one account with all the 19 coins that we had at that time. And this account have made 100% profit in 848 days. So we're talking about an average of 3.55% per month. If we divide that equally by the number of days and then multiplied by 30 to see the exact amount. But that doesn't mean every month you're making 3.5%. Maybe some month is as low as 1%, some other month as high as 7 or even 9%. It depends all on the fluctuation. Because see, the algorithm that I built are based on fluctuation. It uses the nature of the market. The nature of the crypto market is high volatility, between 1 to 5% every day. So if the market keep on fluctuating around that, it keeps on buying and selling multiple times a day and make profit. If it doesn't fluctuate, it's like kind of stable for a couple of days, then no trades will happen. We're not forcing the trade. It just happens whenever it happens, and then creates profit. But that's the nature of the market. That happens. The market goes down or up.
So is this like an alternative strategy to, say, just holding Bitcoin, where you're getting additional leverage on your Bitcoin that you're holding? Say you're a Bitcoin maxi, right? There's a lot of them in our industry. How do you, and you're not trying to convince them to do anything, but how would you respond to someone that sort of says, well, do I really need EazyBot, or should I just buy and hold Bitcoin for the rest of my life?
That's a very good question. Actually, I came to analyze this after we started the company. We started the company when it was trading like the USDT for the sake of increasing the USDT, which is making profit. But then when I found that like most of the people who are in crypto are holding a fraction of Bitcoin, if not a full Bitcoin or a couple of Bitcoins. So let's say you are a Bitcoin holder, and today you bought 1 Bitcoin. Today the price I think is about 85,000. Let's say the price today is 100,000. And today you buy 1 Bitcoin and you decided to save it for 5 years. because you believe that the Bitcoin price in 5 years will be 1 million. So if the Bitcoin becomes 1 million after 5 years, that's a very good investment because you have bought it only for 100,000. So 100,000 became 1 million. That's 10x, which is very nice investment. But what about if you could increase the quantity of the Bitcoins that you're holding? Let's say, for example, today you have 1 Bitcoin. Let's say in 5 years, you managed to make that 1 Bitcoin 3 Bitcoins instead of 1 Bitcoin. So 3 multiplied by 1 million, that's a 3 million instead of 1 million. That's just an example. So we have a new bot. It's not new. It was since 2023, but it's called BGB, Bitcoin Growth Bot. In this bot, you don't trade USDT. You don't even deposit USDT to your exchange account. You keep your Bitcoin, let's say 1 Bitcoin, and you trade that Bitcoin against the other coins. For the volatility between the two coins, you make more Bitcoins. And we have done a back testing for that. If I remember correctly, we have done the Bitcoin Ethereum or Ethereum Bitcoin pair. And we've done a back testing for 1 Bitcoin. This 1 Bitcoin became 1.8 Bitcoin in about a year or a year and a half. I'm not quite sure about the exact date, but we have recording.
Yeah, so we're talking about I guess an 80% increase on your Bitcoin.
Exactly. And I don't recall the exact time. Maybe it's about 2 years or so. I have to look at the recording because that was some time back. But the principle is that you're increasing the quantity. Even if you just double it in 5 years, that's still a big win. It's doubling your profit.
Yeah, for sure. How do you sort of handle, Winston, the sort of customer analysis paralysis of which EazyBot bots to use, and is there any particular ones that have sort of overperformed relative to the others in the current market?
Well, as Dr. Ali said, we have a corporate portfolio, and it really gives the details of how those bots performed. We believe in diversification because no one can really tell for sure what the ROI of any particular crypto will be. So by having diversification, when the market moves, it does it when it does it. But yeah, we do have some that we can show, hey, this did this. Not saying that it's going to guarantee it's going to do it for the future, but these are some of the movers and shakers that's going on right now. The ultimate goal is to have as many bots working on you in your portfolio as possible, so it can gather as much of the profits as possible.
And I guess the obvious question is, how does the EazyBot make money in all of this?
That's a great question. See, EazyBot earns what is called a software service fee when the bot does what it's designed to do, and that's close in profit, earning the user's profits. Small amount of that, anywhere from 0.4% to 0.2%, comes back to EazyBot as revenue. So EazyBot has 5, after the free trial period of 45 days, they can test it out. Then if they want to, they can upgrade to one of the 5 subscription packages annually, ranging from $100 for the year up to $1,495 for the year. And you can have the ability to trade anywhere from 5 bots all the way up to 150 bots. And so some users kind of gradually work their way up because they want to have as much diversification working on their behalf. They want to have the lowest software service fee charges so they can retain as much profits. And the key thing about EazyBot that you're not going to find in many places is the education and support. I'm continually learning. We have live support calls 3 days a week. And those support calls really have turned into a global sharing. People come in, they don't even have any issues with the bots, but they're saying, hey, look, this coin or this bot pair is working really great for me now. Or don't do this because this happened. Or check out this information that's going on in the news. So people are just sharing information. We have a group called the Crypto Brannies. We're very proud of them. They came in not knowing anything about crypto, some even about computers, but over time, by continuing to come to our calls, our training sessions, they have really learned and are now really helping others in the community to be successful with the platform.
Very cool. Dr. Ali, I'm curious, as you've sort of seen EazyBot go from conception to its current state, were there any like inflection points that stand out in your mind where you knew you're onto something and that you were starting to sort of catch some fire?
Hey listeners, are you ready to amplify your voice in a digital world? Introducing .podcast domains, your gateway to the future of online identity. Whether you're a creator, a company, or just someone with big ideas, .podcast is for you. Own your unique digital identity, connect securely, and explore hundreds of apps with no renewal fees. Don't wait for someone else to claim your name. Secure your .podcast domain today and be part of the next generation of content creation. Visit get.unstoppabledomains.com/podcast to get started. Again, that's get.unstoppabledomains.com/podcast. Your voice, your rules, your identity.
Well, see, the moment that really stuck to my mind was the first time I see my investors, because I didn't tell you this story, but it was how I got my investors at the first place, who invested in the company and paid the money for the company. I never met them in person. We only met through Zoom. And from that, they became my investor. They sent even the funds without having an official agreement and confirming that their name is going to be in the license and they're going to be shareholders of the company. Until the moment that they came, actually, I booked for them to fly over and come to Dubai, and we went to the DED and had them. So this, for me, was kind of a really special moment to have some people that trust in you that much. In this kind of world right now. I mean, right now you don't even trust your neighbor if they ask you for money and so on. But we had that kind of trust. It basically came out of the first kind of deal that we had together. I didn't know them in person. We never met. It's just on Zoom. I was just helping them, like helping others, and then they can turn up to be my investors who have paid. Without them, we wouldn't have the company right now. We didn't have EazyBot at the moment. They are really a kind of the special people that have helped in starting this whole company, and I'll be grateful for them. All the time.
That's a great story. And Winston, any sort of examples? You mentioned the crypto grannies. Any particular folks that you've engaged with where you've learned that EazyBot had an impact on their life that comes to mind?
It's really interesting because the utilization and the adaptation that EazyBot has is really far-reaching and unlimited. I mentioned the crypto grannies because of their age and their, learning of the crypto industry. But we're also talking to college students that are really wanting to get out and learn things. We're talking to institutional investors that want to add cryptocurrency to their trading portfolios. So it meets the needs of different people in different places. And as you talk to more people and as you engage in more groups, you're going to see just how EazyBot fits in. And as Dr. Ali said, EazyBot wasn't created to make money or for profit. And that's real important. It was made to serve. And that's what the company is built around. We have a set of core values. Some of it being service, support, integrity, and once those are engaged, the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. That's why people are attracted to EazyBot.
Yeah.
They'll learn them.
Sorry, I also remember one very special moment. At the beginning when we were testing the bot, there was one guy who just reached out to me on WhatsApp, because at that time we had only a few people, and I was like helping him to get started on the bot. He didn't have any kind of tech knowledge. He doesn't know what's cryptocurrency and so on. So I took him through the whole process of creating the exchange and connecting, and then he started trading. He didn't know how to jump into Zoom call. So to help him easier, I told him, okay, let's come on Zoom. He said, what is Zoom? So that was like a moment for me that really the bot is easy to set up. It's not really that complicated, so that anyone can have an account with it. If they follow the step-by-step guide, then they can just come from zero to really having their bots trading, and they are already into crypto.
Very cool. Let's just take a step back and get your take on the overall industry at this point, Dr. Ali. Things that have changed. This has been a fascinating market cycle in a number of ways. I'm sure a lot of people ask your thoughts on the market, just given the nature of your role at EazyBot. What's your take on where we're at? Bitcoin being at 86,000. It was as high as 140. There's fear and greed index is off the charts. People are wondering, is the bull market over? Is there sort of some kind of asymmetry in this bull market because of global market conditions and sort of the size of the market, institutional involvement? What's your perspective?
Well, my perspective in crypto in general is not changed, have not changed. I mean, regardless if the Bitcoin goes to 50 or goes to 150, I mean, it's a normal and natural movements of the market. If you remember what I told you when we started the EazyBot, what triggered me to start the EazyBot was basically that kind of move, where Bitcoin went down from 64,000 to 28,000. So that was even a deeper dive into the price of the Bitcoin. So I see that as a natural movement. When everything goes up, it goes down again. And that's what we are utilizing on to make profit in crypto in EazyBot, not only in the Bitcoin, but also on the other coins. And I see that the crypto is going nowhere because the adaptation is happening really worldwide. I visited a couple of cities here in the Middle East, and in both of them, I found an ATM for crypto, where you can go and deposit money, get your crypto, or vice versa. And some of them actually have a shop, an exchange shop, where you just jump in, you send your crypto, you get a cash, or the vice versa. You give them cash and you get crypto. Officially working without any problems. And
yeah, I mean, I'm in South America right now as we're filming this. I'm in Medellin, and here and in Argentina, it's easier to get crypto, I think, sometimes than it is to get pesos. I had to go to 12 ATMs and 3 Western Unions to get pesos in Argentina. So, but then someone's like, "Oh, I know a guy where if you send him USDT, he can deliver his pesos." So, I mean, the reality of the ubiquitousness of crypto and its criticality to the global markets is undeniable. What's your take on sort of the sort of traditional philosophy around ETH and Bitcoin and sort of staking stable coins to earn yield versus where we're at with other currencies like Solana and Sui and Aptos, and then you have the whole world of meme coins as well. There's a lot of correlation in the market. Is it worth diving into all the different tokens, or is a more conservative or simplistic strategy sufficient?
Well, I believe that before you invest in any coin, whether you're trading it or you're staking it or you're holding it, you have to know the background of the coin. I mean, it doesn't make sense for you to invest in something that doesn't have value, or maybe have value right now but doesn't have a future. For example, if you have a coin that was created by X person, doesn't have any project supporting it, doesn't have anything really or utility for it, then that's more likely to go down. It can go up for a pump at the moment because many people are buying at the same time. But as soon as it comes up, even the owners will start selling their coins and the price will go dump again, and then people will lose their funds. That's why we, in EazyBot, we have a specific criteria that we use to choose the coins that we're trading. Now there is more than 20,000 coins in the exchanges, right? But we're not using all of them. We're only allowing a couple of them. Actually, 32 to be precise. The way we choose is that, number one, the coin should not be born yesterday. It has to be a coin that has been trading on the main exchanges for a couple of years at least, number one. Number two is that how old are the coins, number one. Number two is how was the performance in the last couple of years. I mean, when I say the performance, I see what's the maximum drop that it happened to it. Was going to 99%, like 90% plus, or it was just between the 70 and 80 and 50 and 60 and so on. And number three is, what is the project behind it? Does it have a solid background, or just a coin that floats with supply and demand and doesn't have anything solid that's supporting it at the back end? Number four, which is the last one and the most important for me, is the trading volume of that coin. Does it have big trading volume or just a small trading volume? We're looking at the ones that have big trading volume for the sake of trying not to make slippage. Slippage in trading means that you place a trade at specific price, but before the trade takes place, the price is already down because there is low liquidity or low trading volume. And that's why we are using only those kind of coins, and that have proven itself throughout the last 4 years. Right now, our success rate in making profitable trade is over 99.8%. That means more than 99.8% of the trades of the 20 million trades, right? 20 closed million trades are in success, are making profit. And the few that have done losses because of the slippage that happens for low market volume at that price, or low trading volume, at that time when the trades happened.
Very interesting insights. I really appreciate your perspective on sort of the markets, and of course this show is not financial advice. We don't actually cover trading too often on the show, but I think this type of high level educational conversation is really valuable, and I hope folks do sort of glean some insights from this conversation, whether or not they decide to give EazyBot a try. This is some prudent advice for how you handle this type of volatile industry and turn the volatility into your friend. Looking ahead, gentlemen, any interesting partnerships, integrations, collaborations, or new features that you're excited about for the product coming up? Obviously, our partnership was great. In DC, we had hundreds of folks participating in the gala and some very high level conversations at the Washington Plaza. Just curious what's ahead for you guys.
What's coming is we have some exchanges that we're in talk to right now, and soon we're going to add more exchanges to the 6 that we have. To reiterate, we have right now Coinbase, Kraken, Bybit, Bitget, Binance, and KuCoin. Those are the 6 that are live right now, but we're talking to a couple of more, and soon we will have them. Like I'll name a couple, like OKX and Gate.io, and a couple of more. And what was that, Winston? The one that we're almost Bitmart. Yeah, Bitmart. So, and also we're working on our own app. So soon the users will have their mobile app that see the bot on, and they can get notifications on. I think that's going to be that's something that people were waiting for quite long.
That's great. So right now the tool is like a mobile friendly desktop application, and then you're moving to a mobile app soon. Yeah, that makes sense. Folks like myself, we're always on the go, so having an app is fun. But then, of course, I'm sure you've thought about this. You have to maintain the app. You have to make sure the features of the app are aligned with the website. So there's a lot to it. So that will be exciting. I'm sure your audience will appreciate that. We've talked a lot about EazyBot. Maybe, Dr. Ali, you can give us a quick display of what the sort of user experience looks like, if you're open to that.
I will go through our corporate account. I mean that we have only the charts for that, so it's quick, because I know that we don't have enough time to go through the details of each coin and so on. That's a bar chart.
Let's take a pause to shout out one of our favorite partners. For tech innovators facing legal challenges, Zubul Lawler is your go-to law firm. They focus on understanding your technology and business model before addressing legal requirements. Specializing in blockchain, AI, VR, AR, quantum computing, and more, Zubul Lawler offers expert guidance in capital raising, IP transactions, M&A, litigation, and compliance. Visit zuberlawler.com, that's ZUBERLAWLER.com, for cutting-edge legal solutions.
Sure. So this is a public domain. Anyone can go to it. It's www.easybot.info/performance. So EasyBot with a Z. And here we have posted all the performance of our own corporate accounts. That's one of them. The first one, for example, is here. This one started back in 19th of May, 2022. And as you see, the bar chart is moving as the number of days are increasing. We have updated this every week, every Tuesday before the call that we have. And let me put this forward and show the final results. So the target for this account was to make 100% profit. And we have seen that 100% happening with some floating profit in 848 days. So from that moment, we put everything in single, and in a couple of weeks, all of the bots have closed, and we have seen that 100% in profit. So the 19,000 became 38,000 USDT. Moving forward, we have started a new account also in 1st of January 2023 because we have added more coins. At the beginning, there were only 19 coins, and then we added a couple of more, adding up to 28 coins. So we started a new account in 1st of January 2023. In this account, we have all the 28 pairs. Each coin is having equal amount of 500 USDT being traded. And this account also, if you pull it forward, we have seen 100% profit in this in 849 days. I think it's just a coincidence that this is 848 days and the next one is 849 days. You cannot be exactly the same. And still, there are a couple of bots on this account are running yet to close because once you see the profit target that you want to make in your account, you have to put all the bots in single. You're instructing the bot to close all the open trades with profit and then don't get into the market again. So we're close to that. Soon where this account amount is going to be doubled. And one important thing that we have to look at here in this insight is the best performer and the least performer. If you look at this account here, for example, if I pull it back to the middle of the period or slightly after the middle, you see that Matic was the best performer for most of the time. Matic. When you go to the second portfolio, where's Matic? It's the last one. That's why we don't really encourage speculating and trying to guess which one is going to be the best, because the best one today could be the worst one tomorrow. The best way really to make the best out of this is to diversify, because you don't know how the coins are going to be moving in the future. For example, this account has more than 63,000 trades closed. This one 27,000 trades. And then we have a new account with a new strategy, which is called SBS, Sliding Blockchain Strategy. This account started in 1st of January 2025, this year. And in this account, you have a completely different best performer. It's XMR, which made already over 43% in profit, while the least performer is Bitcoin because it's less fluctuating. It's still over 7%.
So on this one, the starting point was how much money, and where is it at now?
Okay, the starting one amount of this is 32,000. So we have added 1,000 USDT to trade in each one of those coins. Right now, the realized profit is about 18.67%.
Cool.
This is the portfolio. But if you see, there are some coins that made over 40% and some coins made like 7%. So in average, you always get a good return if you don't really guess and try to do the ones that you think are going to be the best.
Is that 18% on top of the appreciation in the coin value, or on the basis?
On the basis, because how the bot is working is that it uses the USDT to buy the coin and then sell it for profit really quick and come back. Sell it for profit and come back. It doesn't really keep the money into the coin for long. So it just only uses the tiny movement and then pull back the money in USDT for the safety. Because imagine if you...
So this strategy is sort of saying, I don't know if any coin's going to be up when I want to sell it. So rather than hold it long term, I'm going to trade it for incremental value all the time and guarantee I get some sort of return on investment. And of course, 18% is better than many investments in the market.
Right. So we don't guess in short term. We don't guess which coin is going to be the best, because if we know for sure, I would just only buy that coin and sell it for profit after a year or two, and that's it. But no, when I created the strategy, I put in my mind the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is that, for example, you start trading a coin, the price of that coin goes like minus 50%, and it stays there forever. It never comes back up again. That can happen because you don't know what's the next move.
It happens a lot, and if that's the only trade that you make in our industry, then you're left with sour grapes, right?
Exactly. Then you're just guessing, you're gambling, you're not really trading. So we're trading only small bits and pieces, just 1% of the capital at a time, buying and selling, and then putting it back into USDT. Then let me show you the last one here. The last one is the Bitcoin growth pod that we talked about. Recently, we started a new portfolio. This is with 0.3 Bitcoin. That was the capital. So we put it equally among all of these 15 coins, 0.02 Bitcoin, each one of them, and they are trading. Now, I think they are almost 1 month. They have been 1 month trading those coins. If you see also XMR made about 10% in Bitcoin. Here, we're not talking about USDT. Everything back in Bitcoin. Taking the Bitcoin, buying a coin, bringing it back to Bitcoin. The least performer is BNB, which made about 0.25%. And the best one is XMR, which made over 10%. The average is about 2%. So my Bitcoin have increased by almost 2% in about 30 days. That's the simple explanation of this. And still, the target for this is to bring this 0.3 Bitcoin to 1 Bitcoin. And then we close the account. This is our target here. That's exactly what I explained about. You have a Bitcoin today, you bought it for a price, and you increase the quantity of the Bitcoin. And at that time, if the price of Bitcoin is higher, then you have actually tripled or maybe made 5 times or 10x your initial investment and so on. Again, no financial advice, but this is for the people who believe that the Bitcoin price is going to increase. But even if the price of Bitcoin didn't go the way we wanted, still we have more quantity of Bitcoin that we can sell and get more instead of getting less.
And these are bots that you can always set it and forget it, or do you recommend folks come back in and tweak their bots?
I would recommend, first of all, to understand how it works. And then if they have a specific strategy in mind, they can still tweak them. And even if they keep them with the default strategy, still they need to check from time to time to see, because they need to make sure their account is active, their account is upgraded so that all the bots are not interrupted and they're working fine. They need to make sure that, for example, if they're using Binance, that they have BNB coins in their exchange so that they can pay the fees in less. I mean, all of this is explained in details. I don't want to go too much technical, but most of the time people don't have to do anything. For example, for those accounts, I'm the one who's managing them and I'm not doing anything. It just uses the default strategy that's available for everyone, and it's just running. All these 56,000 trades happen automatically without me having to do anything.
Well, this is super helpful. Thank you for that demo. All right. Well, Dr. Ali, thank you for the demo. Thank you both for joining us on the show and talking a little bit more about the fundamentals of trading and how to use bots like EazyBot to sort of have a more of a set it and forget it model for different strategies. We do have a link in the show notes for our partnership with you all in the GBA that people can use to join, to participate in the EazyBot community and get started. So we'll share that with folks. Dr. Ali, any last minute thoughts or advice for folks as they get started if they want to try EazyBot out?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, I'm always towards education. So I want them to really join our education calls or support calls and trading calls, and even our weekly calls where I come myself and explain about the bot and how it works. And once they're ready, even if they're not confident enough yet, they can be guided by hand. They can just come on the support calls and someone will take them step by step until they get their account running. And definitely we have also a special deal for the people who are going to be coming through the link who are going to get discounts on the subscriptions.
Great. And that link for everyone is //easybot.co. That's EAZYBOT.co/GBA Global. That's easybot.co//GBA Global. And we'll also put that link in our show notes. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time today.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
We've reached the outer limit at the edge of show for today. Thanks for exploring with us. We have room for more adventurers on our starship, so invite your friends and cool strangers to join our journey. If you're among the hundreds of thousands following us on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, or watching us on Myco or YouTube, please hit that subscribe button, rate us, and make an awesome comment too. And don't forget to pass this episode along to a friend or two who would benefit from it. Doubling back to again, recommend checking out myco.io, where you can watch The Edge of Show and earn for your time and attention. That's myco.io. Don't forget to visit theedgeofshow.com. The is part of the domain name, where you can learn more about collaborating with us and also subscribe to the Edge of Weekly newsletter for the latest Web3 news, events, and show drops. In addition, connect with us on all major social platforms by searching for The Edge of Show. Join the exciting conversations happening online. Lastly, be sure to tune in next time for more great Web3 and AI content. Until then, keep pushing the boundaries. Thanks again for hanging out with us today. The views and opinions expressed on The Edge of Show reflect solely those views and opinions of the show host and its guests. Please make sure to do your own research. Our show is not financial advice. You understand that you are using any and all information on or through this podcast at your own risk. Whenever making financial decisions, we recommend doing your own research and talking to your accountant for financial advice. From time to time, we may feature sponsored content on the show for which we receive value, and we may share links for which we receive a commission if you make a purchase through one of these links. Refer to our website, www.edgeofnft.com, for our full disclaimer, terms and conditions, and privacy policy.